Hey everyone, happy Passover. I don't know if you guys celebrate it or not, but myself, this is the first time, where I really, I wouldn't say that I'm celebrating it like Jews are, but certainly observing it anyways. So, and it is important. So, I'm in a lot of pain right now, and that's actually one of the reasons I'm making this video. I'm waiting for, it's so hard to think, I can't even begin to say. For a certain reason though, when you have a certain amount of pain, I don't know if you can see it in my face, but it's all the nerves in my back, it's my upper back, over, like right between the shoulder blade up the back of the head type stuff, and like it's just like torn, not like torn in a drastic way. It's from doing probably push-ups and stuff like that, but in any case it's very painful. And excuse me, I wondered some things. This video today is geared towards people who suffer with like cancer pain, acute pain. Chronic pain is, this video is for you too, but where my life is acute pain. That's what I suffer with all the time. And so, and before I get a little bit more into this, I just wanted to say that, you know how I call, I've started changing, I've started calling God Yahweh, right? Or Yahweh. Yes. YHWH. I'm going to, I don't think it'll be out today, it'll be out tomorrow, because I got to do a video edit of something. I can't even speak properly. A video edit of something else, and then I'm gonna do this video tonight. This video is amazing, by David Pawson, and so I'm gonna show you why I'm calling God Yahweh. Because I've been getting comments from people saying just say Jesus and stuff, and I understand Yeshua, right, is Jesus, and I also understand that Yeshua in converted to English is Jesus. So there's nothing wrong with saying Jesus. The reason I'm doing this is out of respect to God's name. And so I've been wondering myself, should I just go back to Jesus? Because, I can say Yeshua, but it's English and it's all the same. And, the reason I started to do this is out of respect for God's real name, right? For God's real name. And so I just wanted to give respect to God, to his true name. That's it. There's a lot of people out there who are very, they'll write you messages and they'll say you're doing it wrong and you're doing this and that wrong. It's like I'm trying to glorify Yahweh, God, right? I'm trying to glorify him. So just, like, give me a break. I understand. So any issues with what it really is, I will clear up. And I don't think you're going to dispute this video. So I don't say to other people, I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to judge you by doing that. And I got a message yesterday, it was really long, I didn't read the whole thing, but I got it, I understood. When Jesus came here to the earth, it was him that glorifies God, and it's everything through him. And you'll see in this video that Jesus called Yahweh the Father. I understand that. So that's put me in a place where I don't want to switch between so many different names. I just want to use, like, obviously you say God, you say Yahweh, you say Jesus, you say Yeshua, right? That's as simple as it is. But it hasn't been. So I don't know. I'm going to decide whatever it is, and whatever. I don't even care what people think about me, unless what I'm doing is wrong. Like wrong in a bad way. Nevertheless, I'm glorifying God. Anyways, there's many legalistic people out there, and it's a very hard balance to read the comments section and to discern if people are really trying to help you. And I'm not saying one of those messages wasn't trying to help me. He likely was. So I'm going to talk about pain. Please watch that video when it's done. It'll likely be out tomorrow. I've been in so much pain lately, both with the kidney stone, and then I wake up and then my back is like this, like very strange stuff. I'm going to talk about pain. Just give me a sec. There's nothing worse than nerve pain. Because nerve pain, if you've ever had a sciatic attack, one of my diseases, adhesive arachnoiditis, it's double sciatic, but that's not, there's much more to it. Your electrical impulses in your body can cause any feeling. So if your nerves are going wacko, they can ache, they can burn, they can stab. And that's what trigeminal neuralgia. I have trigeminal neuralgia, and the look on my face right now is occipital. And although I suffer with occipital, this isn't my regular occipital. Anyone can get occipital neuralgia when they have nerves going up the back of their head from an injury. It's very hard to deal with. So I hope someone with cancer who is doing really horrible, I hope you're not doing real horrible, but listen to what I'm saying. That you listen to my life experience. The pain I suffer with, I'm going to link at the end, only for the reasons of I want you to see the things that I have been through, and that I continue to push through them anyways. I shouldn't be alive, part 1 to 4. So I'll put 1 and 2. But I warn you, they might shock you. I have in my spine, before I got, okay, actually I'll go here first. I was speaking to someone. I got a message the other day, and I replied to it. And if any of you would like for me to pray to you, if you want to just write me a letter or something, I'll leave my email, one of my emails that you can send to, and I can pray for you. I ask you to pray for me too. A person that suffers with pain as well sent me a message, and I wondered, I never thought I'd be up here talking about Yahweh, God. I never thought I would be doing this because of my state, and because, I just never that type of person to get up and talk like this on a video. But I wondered, if you watch part 1 to 4 of my testimony, I wonder, is it possible that I was sent here by God and to help heal broken-hearted people or people who are in a lot of pain? Did I go through all of those horrible things just to help a few people? Is that possible? Or could God have, I'm not saying I'm chosen, okay? But could have God chosen me to go through all the things that I went through with pain and suffering and mental suffering, all those things, just to come to a certain point down the line to help somebody? That's how God works, right? When I say that just one of my pain disorders, just one of them, before I got adhesive arachnoiditis of my spine, which means there's scar tissue in my spine, and that scar tissue is progressive, and it keeps building and building. You can slow it down, but you can't stop it altogether. And that scar tissue attaches to the nerves of the spine. And when it attaches to the nerves and then it attaches to the canal wall, it's called adhesive arachnoiditis. And it's the most painful disease on earth. People think it's complex regional pain syndrome, but it's not. I have both of them. I have full body CRPS. There's a new name for it. It's called the nociplastic pain syndrome. And so, look, this is the UK Parliament. As bad as terminal cancer pain without this prospect of death. That's what I deal with on a daily basis. And so, I would get, that's just one of 12 things that I go through. 8 are acute that I deal with, but that doesn't mean they're all flaring up at the same time. So you say, well, how do you deal with that? And that's what I want to talk about. Number one, I couldn't make it through at all if I don't have my painkillers, so I don't have my opioids. I'll die. I'll die of adrenal death. I won't be able to walk, or I'll walk, it'll be extremely painful. I have nerve disorders all over my body. I have it in my neck. I have like a brachial plexus that never heals. Like I said, trigeminal occipital, adhesive arachnoiditis, full body CRPS. Like, how do I keep going like this? How do I keep going? I didn't have a lot of, I was at a place where I had, and I'm talking to you right now with all the nerves set off from doing push-ups, and like, what keeps me going? I was in a place where I didn't even want to live. And that feeling was very strong. I'm not going to say that's from the devil. It wasn't from the devil. It was that the pain was that bad. And I was in a place where I didn't even have my diagnosis yet. I went almost 2 decades not having my full body RSD, they used to call it, diagnosed. That drove me insane. And then adhesive arachnoiditis is, I went 13 years not knowing what it was. And I went through a lot of mental pain because of that, but I felt a lot better when I got my diagnosis. I felt like $1,000,000. Felt really happy just knowing what they were. I didn't care. I just wanted to know what it was. I didn't care how bad it was. I just wanted to know what it was. I have gallbladder attacks every single day. So what I suffered with from the Moderna shot, what it did to me, I ended up with a rare gallbladder disorder, and so it's like I can't even put my fingers in my gallbladder. It feels like I'm having a gallstone. That's what it is. It's called gallbladder hyperkinesia. I have other acute abdominal syndromes too. So what keeps me going? Yes, of course those medications keep me going. I was at the point where I was ready in Canada for assisted death, and I missed the line of going by 1 year, because it didn't matter how bad your pains were or what you suffered with. If you had any mental difficulties, you weren't accepted. I missed it by 1 year, and God saved me. The year before, I would have been accepted. My salvation came. I was born again. Just give me a little break here. I'm trying to also work through that time. I'm always on a timeline, so. For meds and food and things I do. When I make a video at this time of day, so I make it, I don't know, maybe around 2 o'clock or so, maybe like my earlier videos. My other videos I do when I'm sitting down to dinner, like the edited ones. So when I start making this, I have just taken my second painkiller of the day. And you can see maybe in real time I start to look better. So it's been about 15 minutes since I took that, and it sometimes can kick in pretty quickly. Usually gets better around 40 minutes or so. I saw a lot of stuff that there's a lot of hope in this, and this is why, because it's a lot harder for me to speak when my neck and my back is like this. You know those, if you're watching me, if you have a lot of pain, I'll try to make the thumbnail to point out to people who have a lot of pain. When you get a certain amount of nerve pain, especially when it's in your, closer to your head, it becomes very hard to think. And very severe nerve pain in the first place can make it's very tough to think. How is it that if I have terminal cancer equivalent pain, do I walk around? Do I go mountain biking? Do I do all these things? Like I said, medication. And I rebuilt my body, but it was that I was reborn. It was that I started to read the Bible. And it wasn't only that. I started to see all the prophecies. I started to see that this is true. I knew all the stories a long time ago, like in my youth, but I'm 45. And but I didn't know there were prophecies like there is. And especially it wasn't at a time either when it is like now, when things are changing very, very quickly. Like the world is turning evil. Why? Because there's a lot less Christians. Because those generations of people are dying off, of good people. People who won't stand up with electronics taking over everything. That turns people cold, okay? Because they can see everything that's happening. But to my point, it was kind of amazing, because it was exactly what I needed. It was exactly what I needed. What do I mean by that? Well, I was at a time where I thought I was better off dead. You know, I thought, what's the point of suffering this much? For who does it benefit? Or well, it glorifies God for other people. And so this video, right? I'm not comfortable when I make these videos. Sometimes I'm a lot more comfortable. But I started to see signs of the end. Not just Matthew 24 and Luke 21 and Mark 13, not those. I mean, like poring over the Old Testament and realizing things in the New Testament that, like, we're really close enough that, and I'll never set a date. I think it's just totally undisciplined to do that and wrong. To say around, like, you think it could be like 5 years, no more than 5. I don't see anything wrong with that, but putting like a real date on it, I want to be part of that. I want to see it happen. And you can see it happen. You can see Israel and Iran. You can see all the countries surrounding it with all their proxies and everything like that. What's happening isn't going to stop. So it was being reborn again. And the promises in the Bible, it was that made me realize, keep holding on. And I'm telling you, this might be hard for you to understand, but it happened despite the seriousness of the disorders that I suffer with. And there are 12 of them. Despite the seriousness of they're all bad, man. They're all bad. I feel like my pain was cut down, not it was like the endlessness, the thought of endlessness. It was that part that was taken away. Yahweh took that away. Yahweh God took that away. He took that part away. It says be anxious for nothing. I don't know if you could affiliate that with this. Not when you have pain equal to terminal cancer. You could say that's just a saying equivalent to terminal cancer. There's just pains out there, and the reality is they're as painful as that because they're nerves, right? Someone gets a trigeminal neuralgia or an occipital neuralgia attack, that's probably more painful than cancer, terminal cancer pain. People sit there and they just hold their face. It's bad. I've gone through it, and I had teeth removed because of it. I have 4 teeth removed out of my mouth because of it. And so it was the hope. It was the hope that I could see, and that's what it is. And I hope that you can follow that same pattern. You might be in a bed, you might be in a wheelchair, and if you have AA, adhesive arachnoiditis, you may be in a wheelchair. I was in a couch in a bed for 9 years, almost 9 years. I know what it's like. I moved out here on my own when I was just starting to walk again, taking opioids again. I can't live without that. It would be a horror. And I've said this, the thought of all the times around us and not being able to get those meds is a very scary prospect. But by reading scripture, reading that God will, listen, if you want to take me on God, Yahweh right now, whatever. I've been used to saying God my whole life, so God, Jesus, right? So, anyways, I think you get my point. So that's part of the reason I make my videos. And I'm sure that I attract some people with pain, and I hope so. Remember, Jesus came to heal the brokenhearted, and what else would I say? This can apply to all mental pain. Any pain you're going through, But this specifically is for people who have very severe pain. Like, well, there's very severe, and then above that is acute. But there's no terminology for chronic acute pain, because the definition of acute pain is 3 days, no more than 3 days. So like when you break your arm, you break your hand, you get cut, right? Something, you get cut open. The definition is that pain does not go beyond 72 hours, but that's just not true with chronic acute pain, and there's really no terminology. I think it's subpar pain, but it's very tough to deal with. It's a day-to-day thing, and today I make this with a lot of nerve pain in my upper back, and it's really hard to deal with. I don't know if you do have AA, adhesive arachnoiditis, what can happen is, so what the very definition of, and it's probably worse than terminal cancer pain at this point, when you go to, this is the worst thing that can happen with this disease, it's called the disease of no hope, and the devil's disease. That's the nicknames, but that was more when they didn't have a lot of treatments. What was I going to say? The worst thing that can happen to you with it, and it's horrific, man, is if I go and after this and I lift, say right now I lift something heavy, or I twist the wrong way, what happens is those adhesions in your spine, right? So they're in your spinal canal. If you twist too quickly, or if you lift something too heavy, what happens is those adhesions tear. Can you imagine? So they're attached to your spinal nerves and the canal wall. So if I twist too quickly, if I scare too quickly, or just something as easy as that, all of a sudden it's like your legs are completely boiling. There is such an aching pain that is so incessant that you're hoping for death. That's what it's like. That's why it says with no prospect of death. It's a very, very heavy pain. And I've had people say on, maybe not on this channel, but on another, I was on this channel, you aren't who you say you are. I know people just go and do stupid things like that, say that. You don't know who's behind an ID, right? That's one thing. I wish they could, it'd be a smart thing to make everyone have to, I don't mean in like an oppressive way, but they should have come up with something long ago to make sure each person only can have one ID, and you know who that person is. Wouldn't that make sense? But they'd never do that. Or actually, maybe they will. Not in the way we'll like. So anyways, so people have said that to me. How do you do this? How do you do that? People don't understand it's called willpower, and it's called the power of God. Some people will do something, some people won't in a certain state. But when my mother was dying of cancer in front of my eyes, I had been bedbound for up to that point, probably about 8 years. But I'd still get up, and I was starting to get up around that point. And think of this, I was 95 to 100 pounds. I wasn't eating food. I walked from Ottawa, Canada to Kingston, Ontario. I biked back. I went to my brother's house, and I biked back to Ottawa with his bike. When I got his bike, it was with his bike, I came back, and then I was starting to get in shape. I was eating a bit more, started drinking a bit more. This is when I started to get back up on my feet. And I felt bad I couldn't do anything for my mother. I wasn't speaking much around that time. Literally speaking. And I felt I had to do something. And I biked 1,000 kilometers with that bike. So I walked to Kingston. Anyways, I'm not exalting myself. I'm giving you that it's willpower. Willpower can do a lot of things. Willpower is making me do this video right now. It's helping me do this video when I would rather not. But I know someone will see it and they'll understand. You see how I'm getting better? It's because of my painkiller. Thanks for watching this, guys. Listen, me talking about death, I'm just telling you my story. I don't go into that, but I'm telling you it's that bad. And like when my neck, this is my fault from doing push-ups and dips and stuff like that, but it's still very painful. And I've just learned how to keep medicated, fed, enough water, drink at least 3 liters of water a day, go for walks, stay healthy, eat right, do the right things, and that's what keeps me healthy. And obviously, above all is Yahweh. So I'm going to show you a video. It'll probably be out tomorrow. I don't know, my condition hasn't been that well lately, so I don't know, but you'll really enjoy this video. It's really well done. Thanks for watching, guys, and Yah bless everyone.